Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Sarah Paris, and I am so excited to be welcoming in Shabbat with all of you. We just finished the Jewish holiday of Shavuot. As the sun sets, we'll be transitioning from Shavuot, which is when we received the Torah, into Shabbat. So in my mind, that makes this one of the holiest Shabbatot of the year. It's hard to imagine a holier place than accepting the Torah for the very first time. So thank you all for marking this special Shabbat with us. To kind of build community, I want us to start by turning to someone next to you and saying hello, introducing yourself, and sharing what brought you to services tonight. We are extra blessed today to have lots of life cycle moments to be marking this Shabbat with, and we are going to be beginning with the very start of life. I'm going to invite up Oliver J. Rosenfield, who is 7 weeks old. He was born on April 8th. And his parents, Elliot and Anna, and his proud grandparents, Jamie Rosenfield and Debbie Zilberman, to please join us. Oliver is receiving his Hebrew name tonight before we begin Shabbat. He's going to be known in the Jewish people as Yechiel ben Svi, named for his late great-grandfather Jay, with whom he shares a middle name and a Hebrew name now, Yechiel. So I'm going to ask his grandparents to please wrap Oliver and his parents in a tallis. We come together tonight to welcome this child into the covenant of our father Abraham and our mother Sarah. God said, "I will maintain my covenant between me and you and your offspring to come as an everlasting covenant through the ages, to be God to you and your offspring." The tallis is an embracing symbol of the covenant between God and the Jewish people, and we are reminded of the mitzvot by the tzitzit in its corners. Today, we envelope Oliver in the folds of a tallis as a symbol of his entry into the covenant with God and all of the people Israel. Oliver, you are a very welcome member of the Jewish people. Today, you become the newest link in the covenant with God. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zocher habrit ba'atifa b'tzitzit. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayam et yeled hazeh, Yechiel ben Svi. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through his parents' loving care, and let him be known among our people Israel by the name Yechiel ben Svi. May his name be a source of joy for him and inspire him to serve our people. May his parents rejoice in his growth of body and soul. As they have brought son into the covenant tonight, so may they, in time, with wisdom and patience, lead him to a life filled with Torah, chuppah, loving relationships, and ma'asim tovim, the pursuit of good deeds. And together we say, Amen. And there's a blessing that's going to become a theme. He is very excited. That's going to become a theme in services tonight, the priestly blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, V'yasa Adonai panav elecha, V'yasem lecha shalom. Oliver, may God bless you and keep you. May God's light always shine upon you and through you. And may you always see the godliness in yourself, and may you feel complete.
Amen.
Together we say, Amen.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yelanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael. Yelanu, yelanu, ulecho Yisrael.
And we are moving from one life cycle to the next this Shabbat. I'm going to invite up our 3 Benot Mitzvah young women to join me up here. This week, we are marking the B'nai Mitzvah of Leah Dietz, Hannah Price, and Taylor Cohen. And parents, you can come join your daughters with. And we are going to be welcoming in Shabbat by lighting the candles. Ladies, I think you can take it all together. Light the candles. You guys. Please join us on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Return to your seats. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. We get to have the full gamut of life cycle events this Shabbat. I want to invite up Igor Nagulas and Kira Ostapenko, who are going to be married this Sunday, to come up and receive a blessing. So,
I can't remember the last time we've had all 3 life cycles in a row on Shabbat. It's pretty special.
Kira and Igor, you were in the same space in middle school, but it took years and help of technology for you to actually find each other. And that, for sure, we think of in our tradition as not at all an accident. As Rabbi Paris mentioned, we're finishing Shavuot. It's an auspicious time to be getting married because Shavuot, we celebrate the giving of Torah, and we think of it as the beginning of the renewing of the covenant between God and Israel, and a marriage between God and Israel. And so I want to share with you something that I learned about Shavuot and about covenant, which is that we think of a contract as people being committed to terms, but a covenant as people being committed to each other through all the ups and all the downs. And so we hope that that will be true for you. And we want you to think of this as your second home here at Emanu-El. We have a gift for you to symbolize that. It's a mezuzah in the shape of our dome. We hope you'll put it on your home. And we want to bless you with long life, lasting partnership and lasting love, good fortune, and peace. And so we also offer you the blessing that will become the theme of the evening because it's in our Torah portion this week as well. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yihuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseim lecha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you and grant you peace.
Amen.
Amen.
Mazel tov.
And just as Igor and Kira are going to enter into a covenant this weekend, we're going to renew our covenant with God through welcoming in Shabbat with Lecha Dodi tonight. We're going to begin on page 20.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavelai shamor v'zachor v'zibor echad hishmiyanu el hamichad Adonai echad shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'lechtilai lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekavelai likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha v'kol habracha merosh mikedem nesutat sof ma'aseh b'mashvat techilo yoy lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shalom, תרדלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוכנו עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, היי לך תוריד לקראת הלאה, ונשמה נקבלה, היי לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. היי לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You may be seated. And we're going to continue welcoming Shabbat together on page 24, Shalom Aleichem. We continue together by rising on page 28 for the Barhu, our call to prayer.
Sing that back to me. Now it's gonna go higher. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha U'v'chol me'odecha Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher anochi metzavecha Yom ha'levavecha V'shinantam levanecha V'nivartam bam V'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvlechtecha v'derech Uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam neot al yadecha V'ayu letotafot peinenecha Uchtavtam המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, amen. Page 253. Let's sing that back together.
point in our service, we take a moment to think of all those who are in need of healing. This week in particular, as a congregation, we are praying for the healing of Rusty Holden, Patrick Powell, Allison Kramer, Peter Logan, Yosef Ben Yosef Vidorit, Dorit Bat Yosef Vitsipora, Mallory Klunvet, Michelle Schultz, Tony Barbasalin, and Nancy Jackson. If there's someone else who you would like to send healing prayers to this week, please do share their name with our congregation as my tallis passes over your section. Continue together on page 253. We're now going to turn back to our Shabbat evening service in our prayer book, page 44. We're going to be praying Vishamru together, which is a prayer about how Shabbat has kept the Jewish people in covenant with God over millennia and millennia, each and every week.
Shabbat.
We're going to turn the page to page 46, and we're going to be continuing with the Amidah together this evening. Standing up here, I'm struck that this is one of our, please rise with me, sorry about that. I'm reminded that this is one of our last times praying together in this sanctuary for the next few years. We're going to be in our main sanctuary for most Shabbats. So as we pray the Amidah together, you'll have a moment for silent prayer. And if you have been with us before or over the years, I invite you during this Amidah to think back to the memories that you've had in this space, maybe different prayer experiences that you've had, and take some of that with you into this Shabbat. Page 46.
אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני העפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please continue with a moment of silent prayer and reflection. When you have finished your personal meditation, you may be seated.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Chasim Leolam. Ki ata לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדום, לכל השלום. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, חסים Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Hasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה שלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים שים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
So this week, we read Parshat Naso, which contains the oldest known biblical piece of liturgy, a blessing which we've already used twice today in services, called Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing, or Nesiat Kapayim, the lifting of hands blessing. The text is actually in your handout. If you took a prayer book, it's in your handout, so you can look at it and ruminate on it with me tonight. The Torah teaches us in the book of Numbers, chapter 6, I think it's on the middle part exactly. God spoke to Moses, telling him, "Speak to Aaron and his sons, the priests, and tell them to bless the people of Israel with these words. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, v'yasa Adonai panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom." May God bless you and protect you. May God show God's face to you and deal kindly with you. May God lift up God's face upon you and grant you peace. If you Google it, Chabad's website calls this blessing a divine hug, which was a phrase I thought was quite beautiful. Traditionally, it's a throwback way, way, way back to the first temple period, the temple service. The priests, the Kohanim, would ascend a platform called a duchen, like kind of similar to this, and they would pull their talitot over their heads. They would raise their hands above their heads with the Vulcan's, what's now known as the Vulcan salute, and then they would recite the blessing. And please forgive me, I have never actually watched Star Trek, so I don't know much about what the gesture is used for. But there are actually amulets with these verses on them that have been found in ancient Israelite graves dating from the first temple period around 900 BCE. Like I said, the oldest documented piece of continuous liturgy. These amulets mean that this seemingly simple priestly blessing has been used by generation and generation of Jews for nearly 3,000 years. By reciting the prayer tonight and studying its meaning together, like we're doing, we're linking ourselves with millennia of Jews from around the world. Like I said, we still use this blessing quite frequently today. Raise your hand if you have ever received the priestly blessing. If you've had a Jewish wedding ceremony or a bar bat mitzvah or a baby naming, you should have your hand up. Most people in here, or if you're a board member or you attended something like that, you've received the priestly blessing, often from the clergy here. In Sephardic communities, it's actually recited every single Shabbat. In Ashkenazi communities, it tends to just be on major holidays. And in Jerusalem, it's recited every single day, hearkening back to the temple service. Privately, it is used in many homes each Shabbat as parents and grandparents bless their children and grandchildren, like I know Taylor will be talking about tomorrow. And here at Emanu-El, we use it in life cycle moments, weddings, b'nai mitzvah, baby namings. I used it for Oliver's naming. Rabbi Fuchs used it to bless Igor and Kira. And tomorrow, Cantor Addie and I will bless Leah, Hannah, and Taylor with it at their b'not mitzvah. So, and in honor of our Torah portion, you will all receive the priestly blessing from Cantor Luck after we learn about it together. Given that the blessing has endured for thousands of years, there must be something about it. At its most basic, the text you have in front of you, these brief 3 lines of prayer seem not that special. May God bless you, deal nicely with you, may you find peace. It seems pretty generic. When I told my husband this week that I was going to be focusing on this prayer, he was like, "That's ridiculous. There is nothing distinct about it. It's just old. That's the only thing you can say about it." But I proved him wrong. Despite, or perhaps because of this simplicity, the rabbis have invested a lot of time in studying this blessing and interpreting it over time. Through the layers and layers of rabbinic interpretation, this blessing has taken on new meaning in each stage of Jewish history, making it relevant and significant to this day. So as I walk through the different things that have popped up over the years about this blessing, I urge you to listen for what resonates with you tonight. Whatever that meaning is what Cantor Luck and I hope to bless you with at the end of this teaching. So it's going to be different for everyone. As you can imagine, there's a lot of rabbinic commentary focused on this and the meaning of its lines. Most of the rabbis seem to fall into this camp of thinking that the priestly blessing increases in complexity as it goes on. 3 words, 5 words, 7 words makes sense. It would get more complicated. They also think that the deeper meaning of the prayer gets more complicated as it goes on. So blessing 1, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Nearly universally, all of the rabbis said that this first part, may God bless you, is about material wealth, getting richer and getting more things. Rashi says that it is about an appeal to get your property to increase. Abarvanel teaches it is a blessing for material things that God should send all the Israelite people children, life, and sustenance and preserve them from want. This second part, preserving from want, is very key. It's not just about having things, but it's about their amount. In the wise words of Rabbi Hannah Goldstein of Temple Sinai in DC, this first part of the priestly blessing is saying, may you have enough and a little bit extra. May you be blessed with the comfort and security of knowing that you have everything that you need, a blessing so easy to take for granted, but certainly a very profound blessing that we hope to feel each day. So if this first blessing is about material wealth, the rabbis assert that the second one is about spirituality and relationship with God. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God show God's face to you and deal graciously with you. The idea of God showing God's face to a person is quite controversial, as you can imagine. So many rabbis interpret this metaphorically as God shining light or positivity upon a person. Rashi likens it to asking God to smile at us when we receive this blessing. And Sforno asserts that it's about God enabling us to appreciate the wonderful things God has done and keeps on doing in our lives, making sure that we are aware of God's presence all around us. So now we have material things and we have a positive relationship with God. What else could we possibly need? Shalom. V'yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you and grant you shalom. Shalom can mean several different things, and you'll notice that some rabbis translate it as peace, others as wholeness, and others as completeness, and the answer is yes to all of those things. It is if the first part's about things and the second is spirituality, the third part is about our perspective, our own ability to see the world and to feel inner peace with our place within it and how our lives look. Kohelet Rabbah teaches us that as human beings, we have a natural tendency to always crave more and more and more no matter how much we have. They say, he who has 100 wants 200. He who has 200 wants 400. This natural tendency is a source of stress, anxiety, and tension throughout human history. And I'm guessing it's a feeling that most of us in this room know quite well, because it's an ingrained part of human psyche. However, by aspiring that we achieve shalom, peaceful completeness, the priestly blessing reminds us that it is only by fighting against this natural inclination that we can really achieve peace and happiness. Rabbi Rick Jacobs notes that the first word of this third part of the blessing, yisa, lifting up, helps us with this endeavor. When you lift up your gaze, quite literally, your perspective is broadened. You see the world more clearly. You're able to realize the beauty of the world from amidst the hubbub and minutia of your daily life. You can, hopefully, find shalom, peace, and contentedness. So first we pray for material things, then for spiritual connection, and finally for inner peace. There's another interpretation, though, that caught my eye as I researched the priestly blessing this week that I had never heard before, so hopefully it's new to you as well. Rabbi Yossi Goldman of South Africa asserts that the 3 parts of the priestly blessing are actually chronological, corresponding to the different stages of life: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. So first, when we are children, the single most important thing we need to develop into healthy and stable human beings is security and protection. When loved ones give you their time and their attention, they take care of you, you grow up feeling secure and whole. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God, or your parents, bless you and protect you. Next, as we enter adolescence and young adulthood, we strive to find people we connect with, and we seek out favor in the eyes of others. As we grow into ourselves, we are looking for friends, for a marriage partner, for people to do business with. The most important thing we need from others is chen, grace, favor in the eyes of others, to have the world be gracious to us. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God show God's face to you, and may the world be gracious to you. And finally, as we get older and have started to more fully become ourselves, we seek out shalom, peace and contentedness. Both because all of a sudden maybe the noisy places we enjoyed when we were younger are a little bit louder than we'd like them, and because as we gain more perspective on what matters, we hope that we each feel satisfaction and a sense of fulfilling wholeness in how we spend our time. As we continue to age, this pursuit of shalom, of contentedness and meaning, becomes more and more important to us. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you and grant you shalom. These three stages of life, childhood, emerging adulthood, and seniority, roughly begin at the times when tonight and tomorrow we use the priestly blessing. Baby namings, when you are born, coming of age at your bar bat mitzvah, and when you begin a family and establish yourself as an adult when you get married. At each of these pivotal moments, the priestly blessing prompts us to recognize the shift in priorities that we are about to encounter, to show gratitude for the stage we have come through, and to think ahead to what might matter most moving forward. No matter what stage of life we each here tonight find ourselves in, there's something in the priestly blessing for us to cling to. Just as this prayer has different meanings for us in different stages of our lives, it's taken on all of these different meanings over 3,000 years. And yet, with all of these many varied interpretations, the prayer itself is said exactly the same way as on those amulets from ancient First Temple period. There's something that I find comforting in that continuity, something that feels like the completeness in the third stanza of this blessing itself. There's a beauty in having one blessing that is so meaningful and so core to how we practice Judaism and connect with God at special moments that it has been passed down completely unaltered for 3,000 years. There's a stability, a sense of knowing ourselves as a people in those same words, saying them today in our temple with our rabbis and cantors, and to knowing that, God willing, in the future generations will continue to use these same exact words when they need them, imbuing them with their own meaning. So as we prepare to recite the priestly blessing tonight, I invite you to take a moment and reflect about what you need from this blessing tonight. What comfort or inspiration can you take from its words? Is it protection, material wealth, good fortune, friendship from others, a strengthened connection with God, a sense of wholeness, some peace or tranquility? I hope, as we enter this Shabbat, that you will find that blessing together. So the tradition of using the priestly blessing to bless children on Shabbat is adapted at many camps, including Camp Newman, where Cantor Luck and I are both about to be on faculty in the next few weeks. At camp, we mimic the priests covering themselves in their prayer shawls by the entire community holding tali tot above their heads. So tonight, you may have noticed as you came in, there are tali tot along the aisle. You probably didn't know what they were for, but hopefully now you get what I'm going for. So tonight, as we sit here on the precipice of summer, Cantor Luck and I would love to bless our community in this same way that we do at camp each summer. Please pass the tali tot down so that each group of people, and you might have to combine some groups of people, can hold it over their heads. And we have some more in the back if needed. We would love these tali tot to shelter each of us in holiness and protection as we dim the lights and receive the priestly blessing together tonight.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha Yair Adonai panav elecha ve'yikunecha Isa Adonai, Isa Adonai, panav elecha, ve'yasem lecha, ve'yasem lecha, ve'yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Fros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Fros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Cain, Yehirat sown, so may all those blessings come true for each of us. As we raise our lights and begin to conclude our service, we are going to take a moment to think of those who are no longer with us, who have helped us reach this moment in time. This week, as a congregation, we are particularly remembering the following individuals who have died this month: Don Chaikin and Rosa Ewing Goldman. In addition, we are marking the yahrzeit of the following loved ones: Ezra M. Batat, Mel Bellett, Rose Burholtz, Doris Blum, Marvin Brenner, Susan Brochstein, Edris Cole, Martin S. Coleman, Nathan L. Daniel, Nathan David, Maria E. Diamond, Lottie Ehrman, Harriet Epstein, Leona Geller, Anna Goldenberg Pasternak, Raisa Goldstein, Joel Irving Green, Irvin Hancher, Gabriel Hartog, Irma Hirsch, Joyce Hofspiegel, Ernest Lambert, Sylvia Leff, Bruce Neil Lehman, Maxine Leventhal, Karen Lieberman, Chi Wee Lin, Ruth Mansbach, Betty Masonic, William Miller, Marcus Mitchell, Stuart Moldau, Louis Narvez, Dora Nebenzal, Dorothy Selig Newman, Sarah Pollock, Nora Ross, David Rottenberg, Nadia Rottenberg, Nadine Rushikoff, Oscar Rushikoff, Francis Schiff, Dory Schneider, Lazar Shegalov, Maurice A. Scheinfield, Betty Louise Silverman, Jessica Bell Moat Smith, James Keene Stack Jr., Carl Strang, Kate Heary Tolchin, Herb Wander, Florence Warte, Eileen Weiss, Francine Wolf, and Mayor Janowitz. If there's someone else who you are remembering this Shabbat, please share their name with our community as my tallis passes over you. If it is your custom, please rise and join together as a community on page 294 with the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma divrach lirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha brechu. Le'ela mincho birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be a blessing.
At this time, I want to ask everyone to gently close your prayer book, find a safe spot for it that isn't the floor. I want to ask our Benot Mitzvah students to go right to the front, in front of the candles, and each of you will grab a Kiddush cup. We're not going to do the Kiddush quite yet, though. Everyone else, if the person next to you is comfortable with it, go ahead and find their shoulder with your arm as we pray one final time this evening for shalom, for peace.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, Huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Hey, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Oh,
right before Leah, Hannah, and Taylor lead us in the Kiddush to send us out into Shabbat, just a few quick notes for you all. We would love you to come back and join us for our groundbreaking ceremony. Is a week away on June 4th. It's quite unbelievable. This place is going to be an incredible community space in just a few years. We also have two very special Shabbatot the next 2 weeks. Next Friday night, we're going to be blessing Rabbi Fuchs, who just became ordained as a rabbi a few weeks ago. We're so grateful to have him with us. And we are going to be blessing Rabbi Rodich and wishing him Lahitra Ot farewell on June 9th. So we hope that you will come back and join us. And without further ado, Leah, Hannah, and Taylor, please lead us in the Kiddush, which is on page 123. Mazel tov. And last but certainly not least, please, if you could take the challah cover off, ladies. I know that Hannah embroidered this challah cover for us for her bat mitzvah. Please lift the challah up as we say the motzi all together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us.